اللهم صل على محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون. لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة. أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم. عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار. على رسول الله وآله الأطهار. صلوات.
دنيانا ظلام والخدمة ضوء، ما يبكي حرام يطب ريته هواه. ما عند حسين آخرته لوين تاليها يصير والماكو سواه. من حقي أهيم محبوب رحيم ما يرضى يمشي لهواه. ما حد مثل قلبه الحنين ورحمته لما تشميل خدامه دمعة غربته وانطانا خيمه وهو طاحت خيمته. ذابحني هم خنصر يمينه ويسم بعيون لم ما ودريتها عالخيم. بعيون لم ما ودريتها عالخيم.
حسين 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 مولاي حسين 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 مولاي حسين 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 مولاي حسين حسين حسين.
ناذر لصباي أصبح لعبد ياخذني هواي وللخدمة أريد. شقد امشي بعيد ما أدري شريد والقى على طول ذاكرتي وريد يجذبني هواه وابقى امشي وراه يحرقني واقول لي رانا بريد. سكتني ذنبي وارجع احكي بيه ابجات ذارتي.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, I would like to sincerely thank all of you for your phenomenal support the last 10 nights in showing your love for Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. And I urge you, always bring your families and your children to the programs that bring you closer to Allah, the programs that allow you to be inspired by Imam Hussein. Life has its challenges and difficulties, but these programs give us strength. These programs improve our mental health. They give us that amazing spiritual power. And mashallah, this community, in all of the majalis, we have tens of majalis during these 10 days. And the show of support that we saw in the last 10 days is something phenomenal. I sincerely thank all of you for your support. I also sincerely would like to thank the MYC, their leadership, their volunteers, their board members, for the endless amount of time that they put in conducting these programs. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to compensate them, to reward them, and to make us all amongst the supporters of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. It was truly my honor to be with you the last 10 nights. Please do forgive me for any shortcomings. Inshallah, when I go back to the holy city of Karbala and Najaf, I will keep all of you in my du'as. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة، يا غريب يا شهيد كربلاء. فيا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. لم أنس زينب بعد الخدر حاسرة. I shall never forget Zainab. After being protected, now she's being paraded in the streets. لم أنس زينب بعد الخدر حاسرة تبدي النياحة ألحانا فألحانا تدعو أباها أمير المؤمنين ألا يا والدي حكمت فينا رعايانا. She would call to her father Ali, "Oh Ali, come save us, see what's happening to us." وغاب عنا المحامي والكفيل فمن يحمي حمانا يا ومن يأوي يتامانا. Father Ali, look at these orphans. Who's there to protect them? إن عسعس الليل وارى بذل أوجهنا. When the night would set, it would protect us from being exposed. وإن تنفس وجه الصبح أبدانا. Oh Father Ali, but when the morning comes we'd be paraded, our faces would be exposed and men would be looking at us. This pains the heart of Zainab and those noble women. قم يا علي فما هذا القعود وما عهدي تغض عن الأقذاء أجفانا. عجل لعلك من أسر أضر بنا. تولانا أو تفكنا أو تولى دفن قتلانا. هذا حسين بلا غسل ولا كفن. My father Hussein, my father Ali, come see your Hussein without a ghusl, without a kafan. عار تجول عليه الخيل ميدانا. Father, come see the horses trampling the body of your beloved Hussein. Allahu Akbar. This is Ashura at night, the night of the 11th of Muharram. The sacrifice that the family of Imam Hussein made was a sacrifice that history has never seen anything like. What those women had to go through. The real tragedy for the family of Imam Hussein started on a night like this, when they lost Imam Hussein, they lost Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, they lost their supporters, their guardians. Imagine the hearts of those little girls in the deserts of Karbala. What a difficult sacrifice. This one day of Ashura was a wound in the heart of Ahl al-Bayt they could never ever forget. One day, one of the companions of Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam objects to him. He tells him, "My master, it's been 30 years you're crying. Isn't it enough? أما آن لحزنك أن ينقضي?" Is it not enough for your grief to end, for your sorrow to end? How much do you want to cry? 30 years, is that not a lot of time? You know what Al-Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam said to him? He told him, let me tell you something. Ya'qub the prophet, he had 12 sons. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept him away from one of his sons. 11 were next to him. One of them, Yusuf, was kept away from him. Do you know what happened to Yusuf? He cried until his eyes turned white. He cried until his hair became gray. He cried until his back became bent. And his son wasn't killed. He was alive in this dunya. وَأَنَا نَظَرْتُ إِلَىٰ أَبِي وَأَخِي وَسَبْعَةَ عَشَرَ مِنْ أَهْلِ بَيْتِي مُجَزَّرِينَ حَوْلِي. And I saw my father, my brother, and 17 members of my family slaughtered around me. Do you want my sorrow to end? The sorrow would never end for the Ahlul Bayt when they would remember the tragedy of Imam Hussein, when they would remember the tragedy of Zainab, the granddaughter of Rasulullah, being held as a captive, as a prisoner of war. How could the Ahlul Bayt ever forget that? That's why Imam al-Rida alayhi salam would say, إِنَّ يَوْمَ الْحُسَيْنِ أَقْرَحَ جُفُونَنَا. The day of Hussein wounded our eyelids. We cried so much such that our eyelids were wounded. One day, a man goes to see Al-Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam. And he realizes, this is in Medina, about a year after Karbala. He realizes there's a woman sitting in the courtyard of the house under the sun, under the hot, scorching sun of Medina. This man, what did he think? He thought maybe this lady, this woman is a maid who works in the house. She's done something wrong and the Imam is punishing her. That's how he thought of it. So he wanted to mediate. He told him, Imam Sajjad, you're compassionate. Why are you punishing her by telling her to sit under the sun? When he said that, Imam Zayn al-Abidin broke into tears. He told him, she's not a maid. This is Rabab, the wife of Imam Hussein. For 1 year, she's been sitting under the sun. She said, Hussein, his body, for 3 days was under the sun. I can never forget that. I will sit every day under the sun. Those women could never forget the trauma of Karbala. And we shall never forget Karbala. No matter what happens, we don't care about the world. Today, many Muslims in the world celebrate this day. They exchange greetings and gifts on this day. They forget the greatest tragedy. They forget that their prophet cried. In Sahih Sunni sources, the prophet cried at least 20 times on Imam Hussein. 50 years, half a century before Imam Hussein was killed. Yet they greet one another as if nothing happened on this day. But we shall never forget Abu Abdullah. We shall never forget the sacrifice of Imam Hussein salawatullahi alayhi. We shall never forget the patience of those women. You know, my dear brothers and sisters, for me, the most striking lesson that I learned from Karbala is the patience of those women. Not one of them complained to Allah. Not one of them changed her path and she said, you know what, I will stop believing in God. Enough is enough. What happened? Not one of them weakened. Despite what they went through, despite the tragedy, they were all so strong. Wallah, that's the greatest inspiration for us. That's why Imam Hussein alayhi salam took those women and children to Karbala to teach us, be strong in times of difficulty. Even if it's difficult, even if you're going through a tragedy, it's okay. You have Allah with you. Be strong, Allah will elevate you, Allah will eternalize you, Allah will take care of you, and Allah will give you the akhirah. That's a beautiful lesson that we can learn. So now the question is, how do I become like that? What do I do to find that strength that Imam Hussein had in Karbala? How do I find the resilience and the strength of the women of Karbala? There are 2 quick tips I will share with you that are really helpful in raising us to that level of patience. The first one is our perspective on this dunya, how we view this world. You know, this world for us, it's a big deal. It's a huge deal for us. If you want to reach that level of faith and patience, simply adjust your perspective. Simply see the worth of this materialistic world. That's all. It's very simple. Imam Ali alayhi salam has a powerful statement, beautiful statement, in which he describes his brothers. We are honored to be the servants of the servants of the servants of Ali ibn Abi Talib. But the Imam alayhi salam says, do you want to be my brother? I will consider you my brother if you change your perspective. Oh Ali, how do I become your brother? The Imam alayhi salam states, this is how you become my brother. I will describe to you what your perspective should be. The Imam alayhi salam states, my brother kabbarahu fi ayni صغر الدنيا في عينه. The Imam says, my brother, what makes him big in my eyes is the smallness of the world in his eyes. The smaller this world is in your eyes, the bigger you are in the eyes of Imam Ali. What's the value of this dunya? My dear brothers and sisters, the day of Ashura is the biggest testament this dunya is worthless. When someone like Hussein gets killed in this dunya has no value. What's the value of this dunya when someone like Imam Hussein is killed like that? But we put all of our hopes on this dunya and the materialistic aspect of this dunya. Imam Hussein teaches us, live in this dunya, be successful, sure, build your dunya, organize it. But your heart should not be in this dunya. Keep your heart away from this dunya. This dunya destroys the heart. This dunya is poison for the heart. Always keep your heart at a higher place. Keep your heart with Allah, with the angels, with the prophets, with the imams. Let that be the spiritual fuel that will take you. That's how we see this dunya. Really, it's worthless, this dunya, when you look at it. The last letter that Imam Hussein wrote in his life was on the day of Ashura. The very last letter. One line. Imam Hussein wrote one line. He addressed this letter to members of Bani Hashim who stayed behind in Medina. Some of his relatives who stayed behind. The Imam alayhi salam told them, this letter is to the members of Bani Hashim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. One line. Amma ba'd. فَكَأَنَّ الدُّنْيَا لَمْ تَكُنْ. It's as if the world never existed. وَكَأَنَّ الْآخِرَةَ لَمْ تَزَلْ. And it is as if the akhirah is ever present. Wassalam. That's the last letter of your Imam. This dunya is so short-lived, it's so temporary, it's as if it didn't even exist. And it is as if the akhirah is already here. It's already here. The mu'min sees the akhirah and feels the akhirah from this dunya. A mu'min smells the akhirah from this dunya, hears the akhirah from this dunya. Just like a dream. Have you ever had those nightmares that seem endless? But the second you wake up, that's it, it's gone, it's gone. Tell us, it's not, it's as if it wasn't even there. That's how the dunya is. That's the last letter Imam Hussein ever wrote. And this is a lesson for us. And when you see dunya from this lens, you understand why the system of Allah is beautiful. You understand why Zainab said to Ibn Ziyad in Kufa, when he told her, how do you find what Allah did to your brother Hussein? He wanted to insult her, make her grieve. But she detonated a bomb on his head with her reply. She told him, مَا رَأَيْتُ إِلَّا جَمِيلًا. I saw nothing but beauty. How? How is this beauty? Through a simple mathematical equation, I will prove to you how the system of Allah is amazingly beautiful, despite that it has suffering. Very simple math equation. I want you all to remember it. Because this equation will give you strength for the last day of your life. Imagine you work 5 years, you study 5 years, you go to medical school, law school, engineering school, any type of school. You work hard 5 years, then you live for 50 years, and you have a good life, good career, good income. So how much do you give? 5 years. In return, how many years do you get? 50. What's 5 divided by 50? Who's good at math here? 10%, right? That means you're giving 10%, 5, and you're getting 90%, 50. Is that a good deal? Yeah, that's a very good deal. Where can you give 10% and get 90? That's a very good deal. Imagine if you were to live not 50, 500 years. You work 5 years, you study hard, you pull all-nighters, you go through a lot of pain during those 5 years. Just ask people who graduate from law school, medical school. They'll tell you the torture they have to go through. Residency and the torture that comes with it. It's not easy. But let's say you put these 5 and in return you get 500 years. 5 divided by 500. What's the equation now? 1%. You're giving one, and you're getting how much in return? 99. 99%. 5 divided by 500 is 1%. You're giving 1 and you're getting 99. How's that of a deal now? Now imagine you were to live 5,000 years. No, 50,000. No, 500,000. The akhirah, you cannot put a figure to it. How much do people live in the akhirah? Infinitely. My dear brothers and sisters, in this dunya we work hard 50, 60, 70 years. In return, what is Allah giving you? 5 million years in akhirah? 5 trillion years? Allah is giving you infinity. Now those who are really good at math, when you take any number, let's say 70 years you work hard, and you divide it by what Allah is going to give you on the Day of Judgment, which is infinity. When you take any number and you divide it by infinity, what do you get? What do you get? 0. Mathematically, you get 0. So now, when you work 70 years and Allah is giving you infinity, how much are you giving to Allah? Nothing. 0. And what is He giving you? Everything. Tell me if this system is not beautiful. مَا رَأَيْتُ إِلَّا جَمِيلًا. Infinity is so massive, it dwarfs your 70 years of hard work to 0. Because that infinity is based on these 70 years that you work. But the reward is so massive, it dwarfs it. It's like 0. It's like you didn't even give anything. Because nothing can be compared to infinity. Divide any number by infinity, you get 0. It's so small, what you're giving to Allah compared to what He's given you, it's almost like 0. Show me a better deal than that. مَا رَأَيْتُ إِلَّا جَمِيلًا. Now you understand what Imam Hussein means when he says it's as if the world doesn't exist, it's 0. Mathematically it's 0. وَكَأَنَّ الْآخِرَةَ لَمْ تَزَلْ. And it's as if the akhirah is ever present. That's the meaning of it. That is the first step to finding that strength and patience. Just change your perspective on this dunya. Secondly, my dear brothers and sisters, know that Allah is with you, monitoring and watching. Allah, your creator, the one who runs the universe. Imam Hussein, when his infant was slaughtered in his arms, that is not a trial a father can handle. You see your infant, who's the grandson of the Prophet, the great-grandson of the Prophet, from this progeny, slaughtered, thirsty. Any father would crumble and collapse and give up. What is it that gave Imam Hussein strength? هَوَّنَ مَا نَزَلَ بِي أَنَّهُ بِعَيْنِ اللَّهِ. Oh Allah, what gives me solace right now and strength, what allows me not to collapse is the fact that you're watching. You're there with me. The fact that I'm dedicating this to you. If it weren't for you, I'd collapse. Anytime you go through a tragedy, a difficulty, just know Allah is with you. Just know Allah is there and He knows what you're going through, even if the whole world misunderstands you. It doesn't matter. Who cares about the people? Allah doesn't misunderstand me, does He? He creates me. He knows me. As long as Allah doesn't misunderstand you, it doesn't matter. As long as you have the recognition from Allah, who cares about this world and social media and TikTok and Instagram? And even if you get 10,000 likes or not, so what? Does that make you a better person? Does that help you in your grave on the day of judgment? If they put me right now in my grave, I ask you in the name of Allah, doesn't matter if I have 30,000 likes or 3 likes on TikTok, doesn't matter? Doesn't matter. If Allah is pleased with you, if you're on good terms with your Lord, that's sufficient. Doesn't matter. We kill ourselves to get recognition from our society. For them to recognize our achievements, for them to comment on our posts, even our body. We suffer to uphold a body type that is attractive in society. Many people suffer. People commit suicide. People get depressed because of this. Doesn't matter. If Allah is pleased with you, so what? When Allah and the angels and the prophets and the imams are giving me their attention, I'm running after miserable people for their attention. Imagine it's your day of graduation and the most beloved people that you love in your life are around you. Your parents, your friends, your siblings. And they're celebrating. They're giving you a cake, gifts, and you're sitting there unhappy, grumpy. Mom comes up to you, she tells you, Habibi, what's the matter? Today's your graduation day and we're giving you all this attention. You say, you know those ants in the corner of the room? They're not giving me any gifts. They're not giving me any attention. If you were to say that, what would your mom think of you? She'd think you're insane. Are you serious? The dearest people around you were giving you attention. You care about some creature in the corner of the room not clapping for you? You saw how silly this example was? That's life for us every day. Allah, the King of the universe, is giving me His attention. The angels of God give me their attention. The Imam of my time, if I do good deeds, gives me His attention. No, that's not sufficient for me. I still need this guy's attention and that guy's attention and that guy's likes and that guy's reply. You know, when I look for recognition other than from Allah, I'm insulting Allah. That's what Imam Hussein teaches us. Because essentially I'm saying, God, Ya Allah, you're not good enough for me. Your attention is not good enough for me. I still want that guy's attention. I want that girl's attention. I want this person's attention. Imam Hussein teaches you the attention Allah gives you is more than sufficient. What do you need? That's why in the beautiful dua of Arafah, the Imam alayhi salam states, Ilahi, ماذا وجد من فقدك. Oh Allah, what has He found? The one who's lost you. If I've lost my connection with my Lord, what have I found? Give me the whole universe. What am I going to do with it? وَمَاذَا فَقَدَ مَنْ وَجَدَكَ. And Allah, what has He lost? The one who's found you. If you have your faith in Allah, the faith in Ahlul Bayt, in Quran, you uphold moral values, you're the richest being in the universe. You don't need anything else. Nothing else is anything that you're going to require. That's the beautiful lesson that we learn from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And we can uphold that, my dear brothers and sisters. It is possible. That's why we remember Ashura and this tragedy every single year. Because it gives us that strength to rise, to have the akhlaq of Imam Hussein, to have the patience of Imam Hussein. And even though Imam Hussein alayhi salam was massacred 14 centuries ago in Karbala, today we have the continuation of Imam Hussein, his grandson al-Imam al-Mahdi, ajjalallahu ta'ala farajah. Imam al-Mahdi wants us to sacrifice. Give from your heart. Give from your time. Give from your akhlaq. Share your beautiful akhlaq with others. That's what the Imam wants from us. Are we willing to make that true sacrifice or no? Imam Hussein alayhi salam, before he arrived Karbala, when he arrived in Iraq, they blocked him from going to Kufa. He stopped at a village called Qasr Bani Muqatil. It's not far from Kufa. It's not far from Karbala. Maybe an hour's drive or less. Imam Hussein alayhi salam camped there. There was a man who had just left Kufa. His name was Ubaidillah ibn al-Hur al-Juhfi. He just left Kufa. He had heard that Hussein is coming, so he didn't want to get involved. He's like, if I'm in Kufa, maybe I'll be pressured to support Hussein and then I'll get in trouble with the authorities. Let me do without it. So he also had a tent in this village. Imam Hussein comes and meets him. He tells him, oh Ubaidullah, you've had a dark past. He used to work with oppressors. He used to loot caravans. He had a lot of sins. Imam Hussein told him, you have a lot of sins, a dark past. Do you want to wash all of that and be forgiven by Allah? He said, yes. What do I have to do? He says, come with me to Karbala. Come with me. Support us. Allah will forgive you. Look at the offer Imam Hussein gave. And we say to you, oh Abu Abdullah, we all have dark moments in our history. But we are willing to sacrifice for your cause. He says, sorry. I'm not willing to go and get killed. I still want to live. I have a future ahead of me. I don't want to leave this dunya. But here's what I'll do. I'll give you my sword and I'll give you my horse. My sword is the sharpest sword. Anything it strikes, it will kill. And my horse is the fastest horse. Here, I'll give them to you. What did Imam Hussein say to him? Imam Hussein told him, you think I need your horse? You think I need your sword? If you are stingy with your nafs, I don't need your sword. I don't need your horse. The Imam left him. My dear brothers and sisters, Imam Hussein doesn't need us. He has Allah, he has the universe Allah has given to him. We are the ones who need Imam Hussein. We are the ones who need the service of Imam Hussein, serving Imam Hussein, sacrificing in the name of Imam Hussein. Make a plan tonight. From now till next year, how will I change? If my next Ashura, I'm in the same situation, same old habits, sinful habits, same character, I have not sacrificed for Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein will tell me, look, I don't need you. But if I sacrifice, if I reduce the ego in my heart, the arrogance, I improve my akhlaq with my family members, with my friends, I'm less abusive, less sinful habits, then that's an achievement. That's a sacrifice I'm doing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but in the name of Imam Hussein. That's what I can give to Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. And Imam al-Hussein is generous. Anytime you dedicate anything in his honor, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will compensate you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will elevate you. And you know what Allah will show you? The biggest gift on the day of judgment before you enter heaven is to see the nur and the face of Imam Hussein. The hadith states on the day of judgment, the lovers of Imam Hussein, those who sacrificed for Imam Hussein, those who went to ziyarah. If you have not gone to ziyarah, my dear brothers and sisters, go for ziyarah. Show your respect to Imam Hussein. It's one of the most recommended deeds you can ever do in your life. If you're stuck in a situation, nothing can help you, go to Abi Abdullah. Allah has put the answer in his shrine. Years ago, someone in this community told me, Sayyid, I've been traumatized since my childhood. I was abused when I was a child. I cannot get over this trauma. I saw this therapist, that therapist, nothing's working. I'm going crazy. My mental health is going to lead me to suicide. What do I do? I've tried all the du'as too. Don't give me an extra du'a. I don't have the interest anymore. My dear brothers and sisters, when I'm stuck and I don't know what else to say, I send people to Imam Hussein. It was in September of that year, 2017. I will not forget that. I said to this person, go for ziyarah. Have you ever gone to ziyarah? The person said no. I said, go to ziyarah. I'll guarantee you that you'll see something. A breakthrough will happen. The person came back 3 months later, and the person told me, emailed me and said, Allah healed me fully in Karbala. That's it. I've moved on from that past. Go for ziyarah. And alhamdulillah, this year in the Arba'een, the MYC is organizing a trip for the youth of our community. Take advantage of such opportunities. Go and walk with millions. Just arrive at the shrine of Imam Hussein. Many people ask me, Sayyid, when I get there, what do I say? What's the first thing I say? My recommendation, when you stand before the Darih of Imam Hussein, say, Aba Abdullah, we all have needs, and I know people have millions of hajat, but this first ziyarah, I'm not going to ask for anything. I'm just here going to stand and thank you for your sacrifice. And thank Zainab for her sacrifice. That's all. That's all I'm going to say on my first ziyarah. That will change your life. It will change your soul. It will change your heart. We ask Allah to grant us the ziyarah of Imam Hussein. On the Day of Judgment, the Sahih Hadith states, under the throne of Allah, there will be a gathering. Imam Hussein is at the center. He's sitting on a pulpit, on a mimbar, and all those who loved Imam Hussein, served Imam Hussein through their deeds, through their akhlaq, any way that you supported Imam Hussein, your participation, your financial contribution, holding majalis in your homes, supporting majalis, giving food in the name of Imam Hussein, going for ziyarah, any type of support you gave for Imam Hussein, you will be included in that gathering. You're looking at the face of Imam Hussein. The hadith states, you are called by the heavenly creatures, come to heaven. Yalla, you passed your test. Come to your palace, come to your village in heaven, come to your kingdom. You will not look back. You will not look at the other side to see heaven. They keep telling you, come. Why don't you come? Your place in heaven is waiting for you. You know what you will say? When you're looking at the face of Imam Hussein, you will say, stop distracting us from the nur and the light of Imam Hussein. The face of Hussein is heaven for the believers. And the hadith states, if you die with iman, at the moment of death, Imam Hussein will appear to you. Brothers and sisters, never leave Abu Abdullah. He will not leave you. In that difficult moment, you will see his face. And imagine when you see the face of Hussein, you think you'll have any worries? Allah is very generous with us. He gave us the gift of Al Muhammad. On this night, thank Allah for the gift of Al Muhammad. I don't know what we would have done without Imam Hussein. Life is dark without Imam Hussein. He's truly the gift of Allah, the torch of salvation. He's literally a torch that illuminates your mind, your heart, your soul. On this night, we pay respect to Imam al-Hussein. And on this night, we now go to the land of Karbala. Let's see what happened after the tragic martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein. According to one hadith, Fatima al-Sughra, the young daughter of Imam Hussein, she narrates to us the events. She says, after my father was massacred in Karbala, the enemies, the horsemen, they charged out at our tents. And they set our tents to fire. And we were running from one tent to another tent seeking refuge. Fatima Sughra says, I remember when I would see them chasing the children, terrorizing them. She says, I saw one of those evil men. He followed one of the girls. And he pulled off the earring from her ear. He ripped her ears. She says, I got scared. I didn't know where to go. There is no Abbas to go to. Imagine surrounded by thousands of vicious men. She says, I got scared. I didn't know where to go. The tents, they're on fire. Where do I go? All I see is mutilated bodies on the ground. She says, I was running, trying to hide behind a tree, behind something, when suddenly I felt a man beating me with the back of his spear. And then he reached out for my earrings and he pulled them from my ear. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. What happened to your family? She says, then I wanted to know where Zainab was. So I went to the tent of Lady Zainab. I knew she was next to Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. She says, I went into the tent of Lady Zainab. I saw her sitting next to Imam Zain al-Abidin when Shimr walked in. Imam Zain al-Abidin was lying on a mat. He was extremely ill, unable to move. When Shimr ibn Dhil Jawshan, he came and he violently pulled the mat from beneath the body of Imam Zain al-Abidin salawatullahi alayhi. Allahu Akbar. The Imam was already very ill, and imagine the pain he had to sustain from that violent pull. And then he took out his sword. He attempted to kill Imam Zain al-Abidin. Fatima al-Sughra says, that's when my aunt Zainab, she fell on the body of Imam Zain al-Abidin to protect him. She told him, Shimr, you will not kill him before you kill me. Do not kill him. And she protected Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam from being killed. Fatima al-Sughra witnessed all of that. Then, O believers, Lady Zainab later that night, she gathers all the women and the children in one area. Some of them were dying from thirst. Finally, the enemy, they gave them access to water. She was giving them water, making sure they're okay. She made a head count to see who's missing. After she gathers all the orphans, all the women and the children, she realizes there is someone missing. Ar-Rabab, the mother of the infant, was missing. The wife of Imam Hussein's missing. Where is Rabab? Zainab begins to worry. Where is she out there? What if someone hurts her right now? In the darkness of the night, she goes in the plains of Karbala looking for Rabab. When she hears a faint voice coming from one of the darknesses of Karbala, close to the bodies, she approaches that voice. She hears the voice of Rabab crying, and she's saying, Yabni ya Abdullah, my dear son Abdullah. She comes to her, she tells her, Rabab, what are you doing here? Why are you out here in darkness? Don't you know there are dangers here? Don't you know there are vicious men here? She says, yes, I know that. Then what are you doing? Rabab tells her, when I saw my infant the last time, his lips had withered from dehydration. He was dying from thirst. I had no milk to nurse him, and that really pained me to see my infant son die before me. Now they gave me some water, and now I'm able to nurse him. I'm looking for his body to tell him, Habibi, come to me, now I can nurse you. Zainab comforts her and she takes her back to the tent. Zainab makes another head count. This time, who's missing? She realizes Sakina is missing. Where is Sakina now? Again, Zainab, she goes out to the battlefield. She's searching for Sakina. She's nowhere to be found. Perhaps Zainab thought maybe she's somewhere close to the body of Imam Hussein. So she approaches the body of Imam Hussein. She hears a faint voice. She couldn't decipher what it was saying. She got closer and closer. When she heard Sakina say, my father, Aba man alladhi hazza waridak. أبا من الذي أيتمني على صغر سني. She saw Sakina. She had put her lips on the severed neck of Imam Hussein, and she's saying, Father, who's the one who orphaned me at such a young age? Zainab, she lifts her. Sakina, what are you doing here in the midst of the night? Don't you know it's dangerous here? Sakina tells her, my aunt Zainab, what do you expect me to do? They started running after me. They were beating me. I had nowhere to go. I said, let me come to the body of my father. Maybe I can seek some consolation over here. Allahu Akbar. Zainab alayhi salam, she saw the body of Imam Hussein without a head. You know what she does? She places her two blessed hands under the blessed body of Imam Hussein. And then she looks to the sky. She starts to yell, Wa Muhammadah, Wa Aliyah, Wa Fatimata. اليوم مات جدي. Today my grandfather died. اليوم مات أبي. اليوم ماتت أمي فاطمة. Abu Abdullah, by losing you, it's as if I've lost all of them. Then she says, Assalamu alayka ya Rasul Allah ya Jaddah. Remember, she's putting her hands under the body of Imam Hussein. Salla alayka malik as-sama. هذا حسينك بالعرى مقطع الأعضاء. Peace be upon you, my grandfather, Ya Rasulullah. This is your beloved Hussein on the plains of Karbala. His body parts are cut into pieces. And then she says, Allahumma taqabbal minna hadha al-qurban. Oh Allah, accept this sacrifice from us. This is the sacrifice of your Prophet Muhammad. What a difficult night it was for the Ahl al-Bayt. Oh believers, I leave you now with one final scene. The next day on the 11th of Muharram, the enemies, they come to them, they tell them, Yalla, you have to leave now. Let's go to Kufa. They chained them. They took them as prisoners of war to Ibn Ziyad. Now they brought the camels, and Lady Zainab helped the women and the children mount on the camels, ride on the camels. Imam Zain al-Abidin was very ill, he was watching. Imam Zain al-Abidin realized Lady Zainab, she helped everyone, all the women, all the children, to mount on the camels. Then Imam Zain al-Abidin, he realized Zainab did something strange. She kept looking to the right, looking to the left. Imam Zain al-Abidin told her, Amma, what are you looking for? She told him, my nephew. Where's the body of Abbas? He told her, why, Zainab? What do you want from Abbas? She told him, I want to tell him, Abbas, you brought me here from Medina. You helped me get on the camel. Abbas, take me back to Medina. A woman cannot by herself get on the camel. Someone needs to help her. Where's Abbas to help me? It's as if she told him, خويا ما انت اللي جبتني وبيدك يا خويا ركبتني هسا رحت عني وعفتني عقبايك بني مية ولتني. Allahu Akbar. Imam Zain Abidin, despite his severe illness, he managed to help Lady Zainab alayha salam go on the camel. But what a journey. They had to go from Karbala to Kufa to Sham and back to Medina. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. My dear brothers and sisters, many of you have asked for dua. There are people who are ill, people who need our du'as, people who have passed away, they need our dua. In just 2 moments before we continue to the Latmiyah, let's all raise our hands in dua. 5 times recite this holy verse together. Everyone with broken hearts and tears, Allah has promised the believers to answer them. Everyone raise your hand in dua. Ask for your hajat. This is the moment of hajat. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. نسألك اللهم باسمك الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله. Turn to Allah, everyone together. يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, hasten the reappearance of our Master Al-Imam Al-Mahdi. Oh Allah, all those who are ill, grant them a speedy recovery. Oh Allah, forgive us our sins. Oh Allah, always keep the light of Imam Hussein shining in our hearts. Oh Allah, grant us the shafa'ah of Hussein. Oh Allah, grant us the ziyarah of Al-Imam Al-Hussein. Ya Allah.
أين الطالب بدم المقتول بكربلاء وحسينا 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 وحسينا. Every time I fell, you took my hand. Every time I fell, you took my hand. When I lose balance, you help me stand. I let go of you. You hold on to me. I let go of you. You hold on to me. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Who am I that you are mine? Your love is God's great sign. Your love is God's great sign. Who am I that you are mine? Your love is God's great sign. Your love is God's great sign. Ya Mawla, Ya Ibn Zahra, Ya Mawla. Everybody together. Ya Ibn Zahra, Ya Mawla, Ya Ibn Zahra, Ya Mawla. On the last moments of the day of Ashura. Oh, Ya Mawla, Ya Ibn Zahra, Ya Mawla, Ya Ibn Zahra, Ya Mawla, Ya Ibn Zahra. For the one with no friends on his own, you come to his side when he's alone. I call out to you, you respond to me. Ya Hussein, stay with me. I'm sorry I took your love lightly. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya and who am I that you are mine? Your love is God's great sign. Your love is God's great sign. Ya Mawla, Ya Ibna, Ya Mawla, Ya Ibna Zahra, Ya Hussein, غريب يا ابن الزهراء، يا ابن الزهراء. When the world throws everything my way, from your path my heart begins to sway. Keep me close to you, don't get rid of me. Keep me close to you, don't get rid of me. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, bring me to Karbala one day like Ashura. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. My friends leave, you remain. My friends leave, you remain. Oh my true friend, Ya Hussein. Oh my true friend, Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein, Ya. Nobody be quiet, everybody. Ya Hussein, Ya. And who am I that you are mine? Your love is God's great sign. Your love is God's great sign. Ya Mawla, Ya Ibna Zahra, Ya Mawla, Ya Ibna Zahra. Bunayya, Bunayya, قتلوك ذبحوك ومن الماء منعوك ومن الماء منعوك ومن الماء منعوك. This is the final time. Hussein Mawla, Hussein Mawla, Hussein Mawla, Mawla, Hussein 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 Mawla, Mawla, Hussein Mawla, Hussein Mawla, Hussein Mawla, Hussein Mawla, Mawla, Hussein Mawla. Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, we don't know if we're going to be alive next Ashura. Everybody can say Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil Abbas, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil Abbas, Abu Fadil, Abu Fadil. Everybody raise your right hand in the air on the final moments of the day of Ashura. Whoever wants to go to Karbala, everybody. لبيك يا حسين, لبيك يا حسين. As loud as you can, whoever, as loud as you can, wherever you are. لبيك يا حسين, لبيك يا حسين. Today is also the day of Friday, the day of Imam al-Mahdi. Let's also pledge our allegiance to the Imam of our time. لبيك يا مهدي لبيك يا مهدي لبيك يا مهدي صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا مظلوم وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. صلى الله على محمد وآله